One of the biggest fears that Amazon sellers have when they get started in this business is, what if my product doesn't sell? Which leads into the question of inventory. How many units should you order? How many units should you have in stock when you get started with a new product? Should you over order and make sure that you are always in stock, or should you under order and run the risk of running out of stock? Let's dissect all of those issues and topics. Let's talk about the pros of over ordering and the cons of over ordering, and let's talk about strategies that are very important for you to succeed on Amazon in the year 2022. Are you ready? Let's get to work. So if you watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of courses, you'll always notice that a lot of people tell you, yes, you need to order enough stock for at least 3 to 6 months, so you don't run out of stock, especially if your product is successful. But let's talk about the cons of ordering that much inventory, because it can be a little bit too much, especially if you are starting a brand new product and a brand new business on Amazon. First and foremost, you might risk the run of expiry. Some products that you are selling might have an expiry date of anywhere between 1 to 2 years. Yes, that's a very long time. However, you never know what might happen, and it might not be that long of a time, and you might need to, not be able, if you're not able to sell the products within that expiry date, you might have to get rid of them. Number 2, cash flow issues. When you are ordering that much quantity, then you have to invest upfront cost in only that product, which removes any cash flow that you might have to basically invest in other products that might be even more successful in your store. So it does tie up your cash to a lot of inventory. We don't really know whether that is a good idea, yes or no. Number 3, what about external storage? So you will have to pay for external storage, of course, because Amazon, they're not being very generous with the amount of units that they're letting us store in their fulfillment center. And even if you were able to send a very large quantity to the fulfillment center, storing those products is not for free. So you will need to have external storage when you are ordering large quantities, which is going to be an additional cost, an additional investment, even if you were able to send a very large quantity to the Amazon fulfillment center. And the last thing is, you cannot really definitely know the demand and make sure that the demand is stable. You can try as much as possible. Of course, you can avoid selling trending products, seasonal products, but demand sometimes fluctuates, especially if you have enough inventory for the next 6 months, which is a very long time in the e-commerce world. And the other thing that you can definitely never control, well, that's competition. You can't really control competitors, and you don't really know when somebody is going to jump on this opportunity that you have found, this type of product that you are selling. And remember one thing, the more competitors, demand doesn't actually increase exponentially. So if you have more competitors, it doesn't mean that demand and more people are going to be shopping that product. Maybe demand is going to increase, but it's not going to increase as much as competitors are going to increase. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to see a drop in sales. And when you have more competitors, and we're going to talk about that at the end of the video, so keep watching. When you have more competitors, then most people are going to come into this opportunity that they found, and they're going to start dropping the prices, which means you are also going to have to drop your prices, which means your margins are going to go down. So that's why you might end up after 6 months deciding that it's actually not that good of an opportunity for you and you should invest in something else. But if you have all that inventory and you haven't really gone through the inventory, then you are stuck and you have to sell those units that you have invested your money in, and maybe not make enough margins as you wanted to when you first started selling that particular product. Now, those are the cons. I normally don't like to focus on the negative. Those are not negative things. Those are things that you just need to focus on and to think about when you want to order your units and your inventory. But the pros of ordering a large quantity, enough to keep you in stock for the next 3 to 6 months for sure. The pros of that is, well, shipping fees, freight fees, they are fluctuating, and you might get a really good rate right now. You're not guaranteed to get that same exact rate 2 to 3 months down the line.
But still, what is the full reason for the record-high shipping rates carriers charge these days? Shipping prices to many destinations are currently at about 4 or 5 times what they usually were during high seasons in previous years.
Other than freight costs and shipping fees, we also find that raw material is also increasing in prices. So you need to definitely have a conversation with your supplier and try to figure out, because your supplier will already know whether the raw material, if they're having issues with sourcing it, and whether it's gonna cost them a little bit more 6 months or even a year down the line. So it's very important to have a conversation with your supplier, your manufacturer, and try to figure out, are they gonna charge you more money if you come to order this product again in the next 2 to 3 months? Are they gonna actually charge you more because their raw material is actually increasing? They'll tell you, they'll be very honest and clear, because they definitely want you to order a bigger quantity. So they'll be very upfront and tell you, yes, we expect an increase in price in the next 3 months, or in the next 6 months, or even sometimes in the next week. So you might as well order a bigger quantity. Now, all of this situation actually happened, and the reason why we have that much fluctuation, and the reason why you might be thinking, should I over order or under order, is basically because of what happened in 2020. What happened in 2020 is the whole world shut down, and people they were forced to actually buy online from e-commerce websites such as Amazon. And I'm not talking about the actual Amazon consumers that were already purchasing products, especially in the Middle East. I'm talking about people who weren't really actively shopping on a daily basis or a weekly basis, or people who had never shopped before on Amazon. Well, they were forced to start buying online. And once you experience the convenience of ordering something at night and having it delivered the very next day, sometimes you just go to work and you come back and you find it waiting for you right there on your doorstep, especially if it's an easy everyday product. Who wants to go? Who wants to drive? Who wants to go to a busy mall? You can just order it online and have it delivered to you the very next day. That convenience is something that people loved. They're loving, because you might think after 2020 there was a drop in sales, but actually the number shows that there was an increase in sales online, and in particular on Amazon. The Q4 report that Amazon puts out every single year, obviously Q4 of 2021, because I'm filming this video in February of 2022, the Q4 report showed that Amazon sales increased in comparison to Q4 of 2022, which was potentially a breakthrough year for Amazon, increased by 22%. Sales increased by 22%, which is amazing, and it's still going strong. If you're interested to know the 4 main categories that were very popular in Q4 of 2022, apparel, beauty, home and kitchen, as well as, of course, toys. Now that I've talked about the pros and cons and put a few things in perspective, now you have a few things to think about when you want to order your inventory. But let's talk about strategy, especially if you are selling on Amazon in the Middle East in 2022. Strategy is very important because Amazon is becoming a very, very competitive place to sell, but it's still an amazing place for you to start your e-commerce journey. The one thing that you need to think about is, again, what I talked about in the beginning, competitors. You can't really make sure that nobody else is going to sell this product. So you might start selling the product, it might be fantastic, and then you might the very next day find 5 new competitors. And like I said, with more competition, what ends up happening is competitors are naturally going to lower the price. Thus, you're going to have to lower your price as well. Now, in order to try to maintain some sort of sales and try to Move away from all of the competitors. What you can do, 3 things that you can do, things that you can think about as a strategy in 2022. And I assure you, your competitors are not thinking they do not know this strategy. Now you know them. So competitors, normally they focus on things that are happening on Amazon. Think long-term rather than short-term. So number 1, you need to definitely double down and focus on your brand. So you really need to elevate your brand. And remember, your brand is everything related to how you present the product to the customer. It's not just the logo that you are putting on your product, but also the images. Definitely, we're talking about images here, but the whole feel of your store as well, even the text and everything. You need to focus your branding, and you need to brand your products because you want to showcase your product as a premium product at a fantastic price. People are willing to spend a little bit more money for a product that they find online looks like it's a really good quality product. Trust me, I'm sure you're an Amazon customer. You don't want to order a product on Amazon and be disappointed. Nobody wants to be disappointed. So you would spend a little bit more money for a product that you find is targeting you. That's very important because in your branding, you're going to have to decide who is your target audience and how are you going to be able to target them. Let me give you a quick example. If your target audience are males between the ages of 30 and 40, that's your target audience. Those are the people that potentially you want to target with your product, and those are your main customers. Then your branding is going to be very masculine, maybe black, metal, silver, those types of colors. Very masculine in style and very modern for the modern gentleman. So if you were to brand yourself this way, you're going to stand out from the other Chinese sellers that are trying to sell the product just by basically lowering the prices. The second thing you might need to think about, and a strategy that's very important, is very easy to implement, is increasing your external marketing. So definitely with more competitors, guess what those competitors are going to be doing? They're going to be throwing more money on PPC ads, which means you're going to have to also increase the spend that you are spending on PPC ads. And also what you're going to have to do, definitely with more competitors, like I said, you're going to have to lower your prices, which means you're making less money. Well, what if you were to invest with working with influencers, for example, or even invest a little bit more with creating reels on Instagram and TikToks on TikTok, which are going, those reels and TikToks, they're going viral. Some people are just creating these funny, cool, cute TikToks and Instagrams. Trust me, you can do it. And they're getting so many followers and they're getting so many people to discover and purchase their products. So this is something that you might try to invest in. If you're not really a good Instagrammer, you don't like social media, you can find a lot of people that are willing to do this on your behalf, especially for TikTok. You can go into websites like Fiverr and Upwork and find people that are willing to be the face of your product and do these funny, cool TikToks, dances, whatever, using your product, which is quite easy if your product is already selling on Amazon. You just order one and send it over to the person wherever they live, and they can create a TikTok and you can put it on your account or even a reel. So there's no excuse, even if you don't know how to do this, even if you don't want to show your face to the camera, even if you have no knowledge of how these things are done, you can definitely get somebody to do them for you and you can just put them on your account. The last thing that you definitely need to think about is diversifying your store. On Amazon, in e-commerce, it's very rare nowadays to be a one-hit wonder. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. It's very rare to have only one product and have that product generate all the margins and all the numbers that you want. It's best to diversify your store and sell multiple products so that if one of those products starts experiencing a lot of competitors and the demand actually goes down, then you don't need to worry because you've got so many other products. This is a strategy that you're starting to hear a lot of people talk about, but this is a strategy that is essential for a marketplace like the UAE and KSA because they are smaller marketplaces. So you can't compare a smaller marketplace, a less established marketplace, to a large marketplace like Amazon.com. So this is a strategy that you definitely need to think about. Instead of investing all your energy and all your money into one product, think about diversifying your brand and think about diversifying all the products that you are selling. Now, the follow-up question is, should you be diversifying in the same category? So, for example, if you're selling kitchen products, should you be selling all kitchen products, or can you go to other categories? Well, the cool thing is there are no rules. You can do both. You can sell multiple complementary products in the kitchen category, or you can sell in other categories. But the main issue is diversify your investment over multiple products so that if one of those products ends up not generating the amount of revenue or turnover or return on investment that you expect, well, you've got others that can balance it out. And that's it for this video. If you want to learn a little bit more, then choose another one. Choose this video or this video, and I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.